protest for March 27th at the Sangre Grande Hospital to address unresolved wage negotiations.
First one was at San Fernando, second one was at Sangre Grande. We are in communication with the Sangre Grande police, providing them with all the information they need, and we expect to be in our numbers come the 27th. Because none of those actually require police permission. The one that requires police permission, explicit police permission and approval, is the one we have carded for the 10th of April through the streets of Port of Spain.
Those were your 6 a.m. headlines. We'll have another news update at the top of the hour right here on CNC3 and the TBC Radio Network.
You're watching CNC3.
Well, it's Wednesday morning, Trinidad and Tobago, and what could I say? Listen, there is lots to unpack. I kind of take my time how I get up this morning. Went for a little run and a sweat yesterday, so you know you're feeling the little sore muscles, but I'm glad that obviously I'm just getting back to moving again. So top of the night time to Keith and Mario and the team there at Himalaya. But on the news front, there is some big developments. Well, the radar is gone, and some utterances from the Prime Minister would have engaged many in terms of their commentary to his commentary. So we're going to treat with that this morning. JW signing on. Sit back and relax. It is the latest installment of the Morning Brew. I'm going to run in. Big run. All right, let's go. Running in a little bit stiff, but I'm still running in. Good morning. I tell you, you feel it sometimes, eh? You know, you're not doing anything for a while, and you're trying to get yourself back into that momentum, and the knees, the ankles, the legs. But you know what? It's good. It's good, and it's important to stay moving, and that's my encouragement to those who are thinking about it. Just start. You know, they say the hardest part of starting something is starting it. So start slow. Little walk, you know, run, just get yourself moving. Again, good morning, TNT. Today, the 18th of March, it's Wednesday. And let me tell you, it's a kind of, it's one of those Wednesdays that's going to be action-packed and spicy, based on some of the utterances coming out of yesterday in the public domain and the news cycle. We'll treat with that momentarily, but now we head to the front page of the Trinidad and Tobago Guardian, and it's official, the radar is gone. After being installed to treat with what was told to us at the time, narco trafficking, and to keep the perimeter safe. It's now gone, but the TTPS giving us a reminder that despite the radar not being here, whether radar here, whether radar not here, they got their job to do. And that reminder came from DCP Suzette Martin, while the police and certainly her top brass colleagues and those doing the heavy lifting on the ground, they are giving us the assurance that border security is intact and crime-fighting operations continue despite removal of the U.S. military asset. I mean, this radar here, compared to what we would have seen with some of the assets put down in the Middle East, this is really, this is a Conkel's military asset. Let's be real. This, granted, yes, it would have taken lots to stay in the mix and to run, from what I was hearing, millions, or so they claim that they, but this, they literally could dismantle this, put it up and break it down and put it on a plane and have it packing. So it's an asset, but it's nothing compared to what we would have seen or what we have been able to via the news cycle, international news cycle. When we talking asset and base, we're talking, billions. So this was really a small asset. Of course, it created lots of debate, lots of talking points. I myself had some commentary on it because I would imagine, I guess the reasoning given when we look back, one questions if that was really the cause and effect, and well, it's gone. I mean, obviously narco trafficking is something that it's not to say that line of business is, they're going to put it on our back burner. So I guess as the DCP Martin suggested, is really for our local agencies, the security apparatus, from the Coast Guard to our regiment to the police to everyone, customs, everyone needs to be all hands on deck. We can operate in silos. There needs to be that sharing of intelligence so that if people see something, they could act upon it and we could hold those accountable and treat with the borders and border security, because when the drugs come, the guns come also. And we all know what the gun is doing in terms of terrorizing and being a real plague. But in terms of that radar, it can't compare to what we would have seen outside. So I guess that's why they were able to bring it in, mount it, and then bring a plane in. You see, look at it on the front page. It's on the front page yesterday. They literally pack it up and put it to the back, stuff it in the back of this aircraft, military aircraft, and they're gone. All right? The story develops more on page 5. All right? And I mean, when I say Concal's asset, I mean, you know what we're seeing here in Trinidad terms. It can't compare to what we're seeing out there, but asset is asset. And threat would have been threat. And I guess for those who were very vocal against the radar, it's now gone, so you could relax and breathe easy. Let's head to the other big story. The former Prime Minister, the former, he warns of extrajudicial killings with the signing of the Doral Charter. And he would have had some really sharp words and commentary. As a matter of fact, he called the current Prime Minister, hard to even say it, but he called her Jamet, end quote, quote, end quote. And in terms of that commentary, political scientist Dr. Indira Rampersad will join in this morning, chime in on that particular commentary. You see, and I'll tell, I guess when Dr. Rampersad steps in, we'll have that deeper discussion. You see, the allegations of drug money being used to build Balize House, and who in drugs and who rubbing shoulders with drug financier. Even this week, former minister and now member of parliament Marvin Gonzalez would have mentioned drugs being involved in the UNC campaign in one of the seats there in the east, and folks who are, who have shady character and meeting people in the dark. I mean, I'm just paraphrasing, are involved in the politics. I think the deeper conversation is campaign finance reform and full disclosure and transparency as to who are the folks behind the curtains, who pulling the strings, who are the ones financing campaigns and the whole political apparatus, because big money will always win elections. Those who spend, able to spread the message, they're able to really go on the ground canvas and create the momentum that gets ultimately the winning party over the line. So I think that's part of the bigger discussion. These are two, we're talking here the former and the current Prime Minister, two former political tegaregs, for want of a better word, that's local parlance, two political hardliners who clearly have total disdain for each other. The disdain is real. We have felt it when the former was involved in the politics, and now that he's out. And I guess because he also would have had sharp remarks and was very harsh in terms of his commentary, but treating with the people, that's why he's doing a press conference from his living room now, right, out of the mix. But as it pertains to these two, the back and forth and the I guess the venom that exists, unfortunately, it now extends to those who are still active in the politics. We're not seeing the style of back in the day with the likes of Mr. Pandey, Mr. Manning, now deceased. Even though they disagreed, they were never disagreeable. And they would meet and they would shake a hand, and there was a cordial, at least, respect among men who would have drawn their, were able to draw their swords in the political divide. But we find ourselves now in a time where she say, he say, talk pelting. Where are we going with this? Are we having discussions about moving the needle and pushing the country forward and being able to navigate in these very uncertain times with the geopolitics playing out in the Middle East. That's what I want to talk about. Not who call who and thing and who say who. It's almost like this is bacchanal. This is bacchanal. This is old talk. People be talking them kind of talk after football sweat. Not obviously this kind of standing with folks who were, one is currently behind the wheel and one was behind the wheel. So we'll treat with that. I guess Dr. Rampersad could give some more perspective because that commentary, when I heard it yesterday, I said, oh, I know probably today I'll have to deal with that. And yes, we are going to deal with it bright and early. Also, Watson Duke gets big post at NGC. I mean, listen, man can't live by bread alone, right? NGC, he's coming in as a consultant from what we understand. He's been kind of out of the job market for quite a while. He really more or less got a proper softening in the politics, totally to the back seat. And I guess based on his experience in industrial relations and in the union and stuff, yeah, he's stepping into his new role. And I'll let you give me some commentary on that when we open the lines later on. All right? I mean, listen, people have to live, right? And we'll see how things pan out with his particular role and function there now at NGC. To the back page, some sports. Yes, the primary school. A matter of fact, it's the Milo North Primary School games. So well done to Milo for staying the course for all the years and keeping the games alive, putting a little corporate investment inside there. And yet again, the children running, having themselves a time. That's Majesty running to a nice first place. And this transpired at the Hazley Crawford Stadium yesterday. This photo by Ernesto Alves. And you're just seeing like the parents and probably brothers and sisters in the background. Didn't really see any big turnout for these sports games. That's just really family and friends. The public, I don't know, people busy, I guess. Granted, when we see other territories in the region and their youngsters go out to run, oh, people come out, huh? So we always love the glory, but very rare we are there to see the start of someone's story. I hope that could change in time to come. Let's head to the brief on this Wednesday morning. And again, we're looking at the ITAL Food Festival. Remember, I had someone on last Friday treating with that. It happened last Sunday at the Scouts Association. The photo there by Lincoln Holder. And you know, ITAL is ITAL, right? We're talking here veggies and, you know, we're talking real roots food, stuff from the earth. No sort of processed business. And there are folks who eat cleaner. They love the ITAL. So as they say, ITAL is vital, right? Good morning to all the ITAL lovers out there. And really happy after what we would have seen with the ocelot recently being shot and the vet having to intervene to save the ocelot's life. You know, one of our precious wild animals. They're now going to set up some trail cameras to unlock secrets of TNT ocelots and also to just have a little visual. Hopefully it could keep them safe. Remember, they're very secretive. They kind of, you know, go by themselves. You know, they really interfere with nobody. I don't know why it is we looking to interfere with our wildcat. I mean, nice and small. Let it be, no? Let it be. All right, so with that being said, Dr. Indira Rampersad, I mean, there is lots to unpack, and I want to really hear from her as to what's the way forward. And if we could ever find ourselves moving away from this moving along bacchanal, all kind of tag-a-reg politics, where she say, he say, claims pelting all over the place, and nobody is being held accountable. If that's the case, if they have all this other drugs and running, let's treat for that. Let's string up some people. But nonetheless, we get a chance to chit-chat. Dr. Indira Rampersad, she joins me next. See you soon.
Visit Tire Clinic Marketing, New Truck and OTR Tire Service Center at number 30 and 32 Montrose Main Road, Chabonas. Call today at 665-8973 or 672-3419. Alignment services available. Tire Clinic Marketing, Truck and OTR Service Center. A tire for every need.
Things don't always go as expected. Be ready with Trinry for auto, home, business and group life. Call us at 800-TRIN or visit trinry.com today. Huge insurance premium. Pay your premiums bit by bit with FlexiPay from Trinry. For more manageable auto, home and commercial insurance payments, call us at 800-TRIN or visit trinry.com today. Trinry. Premier insurance coverage for less.
This town isn't as safe as it used to be. You remember that laundromat that burnt down? We offered protection, but they refused.
So you're telling me that if I pay you, you'll protect me from... Gentlemen, I think you've been watching too many cheap American soaps.
Westwood Park, Saturdays at 7:30 p.m. only on CNC3.
I want to see Mrs. Rampersad business today. I told this country before that you're a jamet, and today, if they can't come in front of me and show me an iota of evidence to support that allegation, I say again that we are unfortunate to have a jamet as the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, because only a jamet will do something like that, make a statement like that, and not be able to provide a modicum of proof or truth to support it.
So when I heard that comment yesterday, I just knew that today would have been a day to unpack the layers, and we're going to treat with that immediately. Dr. Indira Rampersad joins me, political scientist. Great to see you as always, Dr. Rampersad. Good morning and welcome.
Good to see you too. Good morning, GW, and good morning, viewers.
Your reaction, Dr. Rampersad, to the commentary of the former Prime Minister?
Former Prime Minister. Why is the former Prime Minister doing press conferences, JW? There is an opposition leader, legitimate elected opposition leader of the PNM. And, you know, the language is not improved. Language would have contributed to his demise on April 20th, 2025, and back again with it. And it doesn't endear him to the population, and it doesn't make things any better for the party. Certainly, if he wanted to react to the statements of the Prime Minister regarding Balize House, he could have done so, you know, with a little more finesse, you know, a little more elegance, a little more elegant language. But that name calling, you know, never went down well with the population, even amongst PNM supporters. It's not something to celebrate. So I think, you know, it's really, really unbecoming that he would opt to use that language. But even worse for the PNM, I think every time he raised his head, you know, it really gives them a point down. We saw the Tobago results, latest election that we had, and the PNM 15-0. The PNM had their own thing. They made their statements in the platform, and their MPs, their members, their senators, they're free to make those comments. That's their prerogative. But I don't understand this periodic, quite often rearing of the head of the former Prime Minister, you know, with this press conference. And I mean, why? Why to this extent? And then he comes and make these unbecoming statements. So I'm not going to go into the veracity of the statement made by the Prime Minister, because I don't know myself, really, if it was funded by drugs. I don't have that evidence. He's calling for that evidence, that's fine, but you know, they also call for it. I heard the leader of the opposition call for it, which is within her prerogative. That's her right to do so. So JW, it's more of the same, pretty much more of the same. But he's been gone. He's been gone now almost a year. April 20th will be a year. And like I said, I don't think he augurs well for the PNM.
Well, he stepped down. I think it would have been a year already. I know he would have resigned, and then he brought in the former, which would have been Stuart Young. But let me ask you though, because he obviously is in real time. When we look at the footage, the fact that he's giving a press conference in his living room at his home, that in itself is his reality check, knowing that his missteps and losing touch with the ground would have put him there, totally out of the mix. But and I'm not holding no brief for Dr. Rowley, trust me, I never will. However, the claims of the Balize House and the funds, the ill-gained funds to build it, happened under his tenure. So I would imagine that's why he took it upon himself to clear the air. And in terms of the name calling, again, in poor taste, I agree. But we have seen where the current Prime Minister told Mckmba she'll cuff him down in the Parliament. We have heard people being called hooligans. We find ourselves in a timing where the disdain and the hatred between Dr. Rowley and the current Prime Minister, Mckmba, is so severe that we are almost reaping the fruits, the ill fruits of their disdain and their disgust for each other. And we find ourselves in a really unfortunate tegareg, kind of old guzung peng, for want of a better word, politics.
I never heard that word, though.
Yeah, guzung peng, it's just like anything goes. And it's so unfortunate because we should be in a moment where we're treating with, I find the big discussion should be campaign reform, campaign finance reform, and how we moving the needle forward. But we have to talk about who called who Jamet. I mean, that's like market talk.
Yes, yes. But, you know, it's what you call political culture. In political science, we refer to this as political culture. It's always been, you know, that kind of language, moving on and whatnot.
So adversarial? We have kind of gone to a low. I want to know how low can we go?
Yes, yes. So it has always been adversarial. Some politicians go the extreme, go a little further than others, and there's a reason for that, JW. While it is political culture, the reason is that they want to grab attention. They want to grab headlines. You know, when you make a statement like that, when you make outrageous statements, and President Trump has mastered the art of this. You make a statement, we build a wall, along Mexico. You could take Cuba. You could take Cuba. You know, you take Venezuela, and you grab national, international headlines with that. This sometimes these things are deliberately said and deliberately done in the way it is. It is not necessarily that they hate each other. So that I will still want to put a question mark on. Is it that they really hate each other? Sometimes I don't think so.
No, I think with Dr. Rowley and Mckmba, there is no love. No love.
JW, when you go back in history, you look at Mr. Pandey, you look at the relationship between Mr. Pandey and Mr. Manning.
Yeah, and I mentioned that this morning. They used to disagree, but they weren't disagreeable. I have not seen any iota, any semblance of any kind of decency shown by these two former, well, one is the current Prime Minister and the other one is former. You really feel there is love between the two?
I still think it's politicking. I still think it's politicking. I think, Dr. Rowley behaving like the leader of the opposition, or as if he is still in politics. But that aside, I still think that this is political, politicking, that it would look as if they're spewing venom. It would look as if they're really angry. Dr. Rowley seemed very, very angry. I think Dr. Rowley was on the defensive because, like you said, that was built under his tenure. So he was on the defensive. But I think they know exactly what they're doing, and they deliberately choose their language. She was in the parliament. I don't think that just flew out of her mouth. I think she knew what she was saying as well. The whole thing is to make a sensation on a Friday evening. That news, well, was it Friday? JW?
It was Friday. It was last Friday. Yeah, last Friday.
Yeah, so that news carried through the weekend. It carried through the weekend until Monday or until something changes early in the next week. So I think they understand They understand the role of the media. They understand the role of language. They are both very, very seasoned politicians, GW. They've been in politics for a very, very long time. So I don't think this is anything personal. I just think this is plain old politicking, and the effort to grab attention for it to stay with it for a few days.
You think?
Yeah, this is what I think. I think it's political strategy.
Dr. Rampersad, do you think at some point we'll come to that bigger conversation of campaign finance reform, which, to me, if it happens and there is transparency, there should be no reason to have claims as to who helped build this and who financed this person in this constituency, and no dark shadows should be meeting no MP or nobody behind some bridge or behind some alley to hand money in an envelope for promises. And we know how the cycle goes. So I think this could probably be a nice time to get into that conversation, and I hope the two major parties could sign on if indeed it comes to that.
There were many nice times. There were many nice times. I've been calling for this some 30 years or so.
Yeah, I remember you always call for this.
Always calling for it. Any government.
So why you feel it's a stumbling block? Why you feel we're not having that discussion? What's your personal feeling?
I think that a government in power is comfortable. So when they are in opposition, they call for it. We always hear it from the opposition, just like with constitutional reform. We hear it from the opposition. People's Partnership tried to implement constitutional reform and didn't succeed. So at least they have one on them there. But this campaign finance reform, every time an election come around, GW, you need funding from entities, private entities, and you need big money. And usually you kind of know who will win the election when you follow the money here. When you look and see who have the more massive campaign, who's spending more, who's advertising more. Advertising, as you know, advertisements cost, a fortune. So they need money, but the financiers don't want their identity revealed. So this is an arrangement, this is an agreement that they have with the financiers that they cannot reveal their identity because there's always payback time, the pound of flesh. The financiers come back for their pound of flesh. Now, in the United States, we have political action committees, PACs, and this is published all over. So you know how much, well, at least from what is published, you know who is given what. Although that those may not be 100% accurate, or they don't reveal everything, but you have an idea of who actually fund the various political parties, and some of them fund both, and it is legitimate and legal and accepted. Now, what we need is some kind of legislation on. There's nothing wrong in funding it. Let me get it right. There is absolutely nothing wrong in private entities funding political parties for their campaigns, for elections, because the parties need to raise funds. They need to have money to run an election, which is an expensive venture. There's nothing wrong with it. I think what goes wrong is the pound of flesh after, because now it's the state coffers you're talking about. So private entities, that's their company, that's their entity, whatever they're funding the thing. The other part of it is where the private entities are getting their funding from. Okay, so we know where the state money will be coming from. It's coming from the state coffers, and that has to be wisely managed because that is really taxpayers' money. So I think it becomes outrageous when one entity fund political parties and then get a huge amount of benefits, and it's glaring. They're getting everything. They're getting all the lucrative contracts. They're getting this, that, and the other. Top positions, board positions, whatever it may be. And this goes government come and government go, and this keeps happening. And there is absolutely no legislation. So that you would want, I think, the reform, when you're calling for the reform, that funding to be evenly distributed amongst the parties, so that parties have an advantage. So we hear the Patriotic Front leader, Mckmba, always saying they don't stand a chance because they didn't get the kind of funding the big parties got. It's also on the onus is on the political party to be able to get funding. But like I said, you want clean money So you don't want drug money, so to speak. Let me just put it blatantly. You don't want black, dirty money. You don't want dirty money. You don't want people who are accused of narco trafficking and arms trafficking and arms and whatnot to be funded campaigns, because that is dirty money. This is when it becomes controversial. So you have to have the legislation, the source of funds have to be identified, the quantum has to be identified. You want some level of equity, not necessarily equality, some level of equity in the funding of political parties. And then you have to be able to trace that back now to the kickbacks, to what do they get in return, and whether you are just going to use state funding, state funds now, wantonly, or monies generated by the state to pay back the pound of flesh. Because let me tell you, JW, the people who are financing the entities, the companies, the interests, they are not doing it for free. They are doing it for the paybacks. So contractors are notorious, construction contractors. They are notorious for funding political parties. And through history, they have been doing it. In the United States, you have huge international companies. You have like Halliburton and these companies funding. You have ethnic group funding. You have the Cuban American PAC, Political Action Committee. You have the Jewish American PAC, which is the largest funder in the United States. And they are also the most powerful ethnic lobby. And they actually drive U.S. policy to Israel, to the Middle East, just as the Cuban American PAC drive U.S. policy to Cuba.
We're seeing it playing out in real time as we speak.
As we speak. So this is perennial. This is not going to change. Political parties are going to need funding to drive their campaigns.
You think we could see it? You think in our lifetime we could see a change? We could see that maturity. I would love to see two things. I would love to see transparency when it comes to financing, and I would love to see our leaders debate. Jamaica, the debate. I saw the debate in Jamaica for their election cycle earlier this year, and I'm saying, was it last year? I think whenever they had their cycle, and I'm saying I would love to see the day where everyone who is putting themselves up to be prime minister, or even people who are, they're putting themselves up for a particular role, they could go, whether it be a government campus, Queen's Hall. We have so many locations. You have 2-3 podiums and a media professional like a Tony Fraser or somebody, moderating it, and you're getting questions. I mean, that would be such a beautiful day, Dr. Rampersad.
Yeah, but I think I wrote about this debate in the debate that we have to get the politicians there as well, but they're reluctant to do that, and sometimes they send a representative, which is not what we want. We've had the debates in the past with the representatives, but you want the leaders themselves there. This is something I've also called for, and constitutional reform, JW. We need this constitutional reform, and you notice when people are in opposition, they call for it loud and vocally, and they make a lot of noise. Mr. Pandey, when he left politics, he himself was calling for it. I once asked him, I said, but why didn't you call for that when you were in power? And he said he only had 5 years, but 5 years is a lot of time. You can call for it when you're there. You can make efforts to do it. The partnership made an effort to do it, and I think it was stymied somewhere along the line, in the Senate or somewhere, or somewhere it wasn't stopped. But, the right of recall, non-performing MPs, term limits for leaders, prime ministers, Guyana implemented it. It is the one country in the English-speaking Caribbean that has term limits. It's also the one country that has an executive president, and they don't have Westminster parliamentary system of governance. They have an executive president, and they still had problems. They have proportional representation there. They still have problems, but it probably eases the tension a bit. One of the things where it will be really good is to see different lobby groups. Substantial lobby groups, not these little ones with 2 and 3 members, but, in the parliament, the Cane Farmers Association, the oil workers, unions, some of the trade unions, also with substantial membership having a say in the parliament, being part of the debate, So, there are ways to do this. Mr. Pandey had some kind of formula in mind where, you have to command a certain amount of votes to be able to be there. But they should have representation. Let
me ask before we wrap things up with the couple of walkouts we have seen and the back and forth and the speaker having to, poor speaker, the speaker he can't even maintain sometimes when the temperatures rise and things get testy. in the parliament. What's your take on the landscape and where we're going with our leaders and the style of leadership and the language being used, not so much outside of the political, outside in the public, but inside the actual parliament?
Well, you know, it is very entertaining. It is very entertaining. And a lot of people look at parliamentary debates, and Trinidad and Tobago is notorious for some of the most entertaining ones. I remember some of my professors in the past tell me, you know, well, this doesn't happen in Barbados like this. It's not like this in the other islands. And they enjoy looking at it because it is entertaining. So that is the other side to the JW. Remember, the politicians are given a moment on stage. The limelight is on them. The population is looking on regional as well, the regional population. And this is their moment on stage. And this is also where they get to say what they are. So all the antics come into play. In JW, you know, walking out is a big strategy, yeah? Walking out of the parliament is a big political strategy that they use because it comes with fanfare and, you know, it comes with all this flowery language and whatnot, so that they get the spotlight. I keep telling you, all of this, while there's room to criticize, there's also room to analyze. They're doing this for attention. The aim of the game is to get the attention and get their say and to be seen and to be heard, because the parliament of the country is a national theater stage. Okay.
Well, interesting perspective indeed. I mean, obviously, I always enjoy.
Of course, not everything is becoming takes place, and I think that's your concern.
Of course, yeah.
And looking to change political culture is very slow to change.
And that's why these conversations are so important. Dr. Rampersad, all the best. Thanks as always.
You're most welcome, JW. Have a great day and a great week.
Same to you. All the best. Dr. Indira Rampersad, she says entertainment. Yes, I love it. Let's head across now to our Women's Wednesday. So we kind of doubling up. We had a very strategic lady yesterday who is the president of the Muslim Women's Association. But today, we're going to head across to minister and gospel artist Arlene Collins Mohammed for Women in Ministry. Yes, Women's Wednesday, next.
Trinidad and Tobago. Anil wrapping roti at lightning fast speed.
Sandra nailing every order in her hardware.
Lisa, who is in sync with style. There is no buffering at her boutique.
And Dr. Alex filling prescriptions with care. They're all part of the 5,000 strong businesses connected and growing with reliable, high-speed service from Amplia.
Now it's your turn.
Because with Amplia,
you're in good company. Amplia Business.
At Cruise Inn Hotel and Yachting Center, we're all about time. In fact, once you check in, there's no time to lose. Reconnect with a little family time. Make a splash with some pool time. Spend some treasured quality time. Or just immerse yourself in some quiet time. Indulge your senses at dinner time. We even have the perfect venue when it's your celebration time. So it's high time you visit Cruise Inn. Choose our day pass or call 607-4000 to make your dinner or hotel reservations or to find out more about our event spaces. Take a time out at Cruise Inn Hotel and Yachting Center.
Looking for the ultimate gaming experience? Welcome to Phase 22 Gaming Lounge, where gamers of all ages come to play, compete, and have fun. Dive into your favorite games on PlayStation, Nintendo, Xbox, or race on our high-tech racing rigs. And experience the thrill of VR with PlayStation and Meta Quest. Our lounge is safe, comfortable, and perfect for everyone. When you're done, check out the latest gaming systems, accessories, and even Samsung and Apple phones. Visit us on the second floor of Gulf City Mall or call 786-2404 to book your gaming session today.
My man, Andre.
Good night, Anthony.
7 years with the company, and we couldn't do it without Antoine.
Happy birthday, dear Alejandro. Happy birthday to you.
Who's Angelo?
We're like coworkers who don't forget your name.
I'm Angelo.
CG United. Good like that.
Gaming Express Limited is a premium importer and retailer of the highest quality brand name electronics. We stock the widest range of PlayStation, Nintendo Switch, Samsung, and Apple devices and accessories. Visit us at Shop 52, Level 2, Gulf City Mall in San Fernando, or contact us by phone or WhatsApp message at 687-7480 or 301-9797 or 798-1280. Like our Facebook and Instagram pages for updates on products and services.
Get a loan at Bremont. The process is simple. Fast and efficient approvals. Receive funds within 24 hours once approved. And no penalty for early repayment. Located at 4 Gala Street, Woodbrook. Remember, we like to lend.
Kali Matha Astrology Center. Master Karthik. 35 years experience, Indian generation astrologer. He can discuss past, present, and future. He can advise on reading hand, face, and horoscope. He would give advice for all your problems. Special guidance for broken relationships, husband and wife disputes. Can advise on bringing back loved ones. Gives unbreakable protection. Call now 275-7489. Located in Arima, Port of Spain, Debe, Curep, Chaguanas, and San Fernando.
It's your Women's Wednesday, and Arlene Collins Mohammed joins me. Always a joy to have Arlene with us here in studio. She would normally come in to bless us with her voice, new music, but today we're getting a chance to really chit-chat some more, get deeper into conversation, into her journey in not only ministry, but also business. And Arlene, knowing Arlene, staying true to form, she has come with product in hand. She's doing her teas now, excuse me. Right, I'm seeing here herbal tummy, the herbal tummy solution.
Yes.
A green cleanse. I love it.
Yes.
Arlene, great to see you.
Well, thank you so much.
Blessings.
Thank you so much. It's a great opportunity to be here today with you. Just to be alive today is amazing. Yeah.
Tell me about your entrance into ministry. We'll come back and deal with the business part of it first. But was it you got into business first or ministry first?
I would definitely say ministry because I find myself walking the streets and that's, singing out to Jesus. From a tender age, Mommy sent me to Sunday school. So I know Jesus. I know what it is like to pray and trust in Jesus. Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah.
And I would imagine that would have also been a guiding light for you in business when you started off.
Yeah, because she would have given me a basket with mangoes and plum to go out and sell. So from a tender age is Sunday school and it's business from the age of 10, 11.
Oh, serious?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you always very much active, as you said, in ministry, then you transition into the business.
Yes.
How you are able to maintain a balance? Because sometimes business could consume your time.
Yeah.
I know, based on your location, Charlotte Street, in Port of Spain, in the heart of the city. Walk me through that balance, that work ministry balance.
I'm so happy you asked that, right? Because something God has been keep reminding me is promises I would have made to him. Life wouldn't have been always perfect, and it's still not perfect because trials always comes, but you have to bear in mind that trials come to make you stronger. So, I've always been trusting God to open doors in my life because I would have come from Picton Road Love until my adult life grew up on Nelson Street, which, something I saw some things that I really not supposed to see, but live and direct, see some stuff. But it strengthened me to know that, you have to push forward. You have to make it not only for yourself, but for your community and for the children God is going to birth me with. So, trusting God and asking him to show me how it is to live this life, mainly to put you first. right? To trust you, put you first, get your guidance. I would have strayed along the way because, you know, straight and narrow is the way to the Lord, right? And broad is the way to destruction. So I would have strayed, but I always find myself to get back on that straight path because God told me, you know, He has great plans in my life, but He cannot take me in that condition. I need to make a change so that the light of Christ could shine through me, that men could see to come to know it's not me opening these doors in my life, but it is God that is opening the doors to my life and allowing me to open keys into new opportunities.
So I know you've always had this singing ability, and that talent was there from, as you mentioned, since you were small.
Yeah.
But in terms of holding a mic and being able to testify, to speak.
Yes.
Because I just saw some footage with you there, you know, literally, you see, look at you, singing. Then sometimes you will talk. I know that it's a most unfortunate circumstance in town, probably about a year and a half ago, a guy lost his life.
Yes.
And you went out and you, I mean, I heard the passion, I heard the hurt, and
yes.
You're a great speaker too. At what point you were able to tap into that part of yourself? Unlock that
I'll tell
window.
you, I remember some years ago when I was on Nelson Street, a gentleman and his wife used to come on a Sunday to just lift a trumpet of praise unto Jesus. And when they now started, I've been looking at them through a window. And yet I believe that it was really at a you're doing business on Nelson Street, as little as it is, you make a start, and you know for a fact it's not you, but God opened the door. And I found myself going downstairs to join with them and started singing and, you know, pray the best way I could pray at the time. You know, just having conversation with the Lord. So I believe holding the mic could have started right there on Nelson Street. I know a lot of persons who may see me this morning will clearly remember me coming downstairs with that team of people who will come on a Sunday and just sing, you know, sing the old time song, I am delivered, praise the Lord, I am delivered, glory to His name. You know, that kind of the old time songs. So from there, I say, you know, go forward. Talk to Jesus, sing for Jesus, and it started from there. And then, you know, going through different trials, I always find myself running to my phone and taping what I hear God says. You know, this morning I had some devotion in the car with my daughter, and the reading was in trusting Jesus. And I said, wow, my life is about trusting in Him and seeing Him open doors. So I started saying, trust in Jesus, trust in Jesus, trust in Jesus, and you will see. Trust in Jesus, trust in Jesus. I trust in Jesus, and He changed me.
That was the devotion this morning?
Yeah.
Amazing. Strong, powerful.
I started singing that just like that.
So you consider yourself more a ministry woman or a businesswoman?
Straight up, both of them.
Yes.
God, because the business is made so strong.
Well, I know, and
I'm telling you, but Jesus,
yes,
He's stronger.
And I think that's your guiding light, because you conduct business on a street where me personally, I always go there because I get the best deals, and I have no issue moving on in Charlotte. But there are many people who are very scared of Charlotte Street. They're very concerned because lots of the elements, I mean, the elements all over the city, that's the reality. But there is this particular fear, and you are able to be respected in the space. I don't feel nobody never really come wrong you there.
No.
Look at
just
that.
Last night, I was telling someone, you know, because I'm just opening up a new place, right, with about 15 spaces, and our husband was saying, Gil, I'm kind of skeptical. And I was letting her say, Gil, you know, God has been so amazing in my life. I never get robbed. You know, these men in the area, they always respect me, and I believe it's because, you know, sometimes you achieve something in life and you turn your back on your people, you just like you're rich now, you're hello, good day. You know, you change. And that is not in my nature, that's not me. I love people. And I want to see everyone achieve. And these young men, they see that. So they respect me. Sometimes they say, hey, mother, good day, mother. I mean, I look at the young ones, just mother thing, but anyhow.
Mothers are respect you.
There's a respect.
Mother,
You know that kind of way?
Mother, father, uncle.
Yes.
I'm uncle now. A rich uncle.
Yeah, so they respect me and the boldness in me because I see myself as a believer overcoming limitations daily. Bold, B-O-L-D. So sometimes I see a young man like the other night, honestly, I saw a young man by the corner and I came out from the mall just singing. He'd only have sung in my spirit, but I came over the mall singing. I saw him by the corner and I done one time immediately. I said, oh my God, some foolishness as young man on boy. So I continued to sing and I go next to him, stand up singing. And he just watch me and he walk off and went straight back where he came from. And the ladies across the road saying, wow, look at that. I say, that's the presence of the Lord. So I mean, we had to keep these young men in prayer. Because they can change their lives and we want a better Charlotte Street.
No, I agree because the elements who people might be fearful of, all these men need is opportunity, a chance to be heard, a chance to be seen.
Yes.
And the reason I say elements just based on their situation at this point in time, but it doesn't mean that that's going to be your be all and end all. So I don't know where the fear is. I've never once walked on Charlotte Street and
feel fearful.
Not at all. I walk the top of Charlotte right down to your business place.
Bless God.
And I'm normal in the space.
Yes.
But you've been able to survive in that space.
I want to say one thing quickly, please. You know, we take it back straight to the parents. I'm begging, I ain't asking. I am begging parents to make that stand to bring the strength up in the fear of the Lord. If it means that you had to, you know, pray with them. You know what I mean? Take that, don't take my horrors, pray with them. Let them see that you're in the best way you can. Talk to the Lord.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, important. I want to ask you, the theme, this gift again, what does that mean to you? I know that's a major theme for the International Women's Day and the month, this whole month of March as we celebrate women. What does that theme say to you?
Gifts again. I believe, you know, when you give, sometimes if you left and give something, you're right, and don't need to know about it, you know, that kind of way. And you give him from your heart. And when young men, young women, mothers, fathers, whoever it is, the Lord allow you to communicate with, when you give, it might be nothing physical, it might just be a word of advice. And they can see it's coming from a genuine place, from that love, from the heart. It does something. You gain respect. You gain where this person can meditate and you know what? I had to make a change, boy. You hear that woman tell me? You know that kind of way? Your life itself, the way you live it. You can just give by the way you speak, the way you walk, the way you know what I mean? Communicate with people. Because your light of Christ will shine so bright through you that men will see and come to serve him. So you see where you're giving? Because of how you make up your mind to live this life that God has blessed you with and have that breath in your body this morning.
Yeah, well said, Arlene. Well said. Gift again, important theme. Let's wrap things up. And before we wrap things up, I'll always give you the opportunity to leave us in prayer. This time a prayer for the women of the nation locked on. We have about a minute again to go. So Arlene, lead us in prayer.
Heavenly Father, I thank you for who you are this morning, God. I thank you that you're great, you're awesome. Lord, you're mighty, holy, trustworthy, victorious, miraculous, glorious, marvelous, righteous, gracious, precious. But most of all, God, you're a serious God. And God, we ask that we see you before we see you, oh God. That you open doors for our lives as we trust in you, as we depend on you, as we make promises to you, God, that we will keep it, because God, every promise that you make to us, God, you have kept this. You have kept it, oh Father God. Here we are today, alive and well. And we ask in no other name, but in the name of Jesus, to lead us on this narrow path that will lead us to everlasting life with you, God. The angels are working overtime, preparing mansions for us, God. So we thank you for the opportunity to know you, to serve you, and to call upon you in one accord this morning. In no other name, but in the mighty, matchless name of our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ.
Amen.
Thank you, Lord. Amen.
Amen. Arlene.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
God bless you. Let me say this, Pastor God.
Oh, yes, of course. I mean, the
Don't let me rush you.
Yeah, definitely. Where are you getting this, Arlene?
Listen, you can definitely get this at the A&E's pharmacy. And, we have so many lies, not only women, but men and women who's using our My 30-Day Tummy Solution and My 30-Day Detox Solution that really helps to cleanse the body. This is the temple of God, our bodies. And we have to keep it clean and healthy to go out there and do ministry, right? So we have persons who have lost, like a gentleman lost 17 pounds in a matter of a month and a half. My next lady who was 324 pounds. She down now to 298 and she crying. But the first time in many years, she's seen something on the sale. So get your My Solution tea.
I go and get
Tummy and Detox tea.
Oh, you mean? We take that pause. We get ready for the 7 a.m. news update. Much more after 7. Let's see what
succeed with Rand Credit Union. You can believe that you can achieve. Big goals, small ones too. Rand Credit Union, we've got you. No more waiting, that won't do. Make someday today. One life, so make it good. Live the way you know you should. With Rand Credit Union, yes you could. Make someday today.
Live your best life today with Rand Credit Union.
Struggling with blood sugar swings, high blood pressure, or stiff joints? Take control with Aja Nutrition's powerful wellness trio. Berberine Plus supports healthy blood sugar. Blood pressure support helps keep your pressure in check. And Joint Aid keeps your joints moving so you can stay active every day. Don't wait. Choose Aja Nutrition for trusted, effective solutions. Available at Pennywise and leading pharmacies nationwide. Feel better, move better, live better with Aja Nutrition.
Things don't always go as expected. Be ready with Trinry for auto, home, business and group life. Call us at 800 TRIN or visit trinry.com today. Huge insurance premium. Pay your premiums bit by bit with FlexiPay from Trinry. For more manageable auto, home and commercial insurance payments, call us at 800 TRIN or visit trinry.com today. Trinry. Premier insurance coverage for less.
Time Check, brought to you by the Central Bank and the National Financial Literacy Program.
Good morning. I am Jens Leven with headline news on CNC3 and the TBC Radio Network. A U.S. military aircraft yesterday came and retrieved the U.S. ground-to-air task-oriented radar system from the A.N.R. Robinson International Airport. CNC3 News saw crates being loaded into the rear of the aircraft before it took off 2 hours later. Economist Dr. Vanus James believes it's a good thing that the radar has left the island. He said the lack of transparency surrounding the arrangement speaks to a need for constitutional change.
There is no mechanism in the country for transparency or accountability or consensus building. It is time for us to get about the business of setting up a constitutional arrangement under which we can get what we dream of as accountability and transparency and consensus-oriented government.
The police service says its crime-fighting operations will continue uninterrupted despite the removal of the U.S. radar system. Deputy Police Commissioner Suzette Martin, who is in charge of operations, says the TTPS does not expect any major disruption. However, she acknowledged that the system played a role in operations aimed at intercepting illicit activities. Martin said the TTPS continues to rely on a mix of intelligence-led policing and interagency collaboration to monitor and secure the country's borders and territorial waters. In December, the police credited the radar system with assisting in the $171 million drug bust in the Caroni Swamp. The same month, Homeland Security Minister Roger Alexander said the radar would have been an asset in the search for a kidnapped couple. And former Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley says evidence shows that the controversial raider has served its real purpose.
They have got what they wanted out of Venezuela. They now speak of high praise of the Venezuelan government and the corporation in Venezuela. Maduro is in jail in New York, and Trinidad and Tobago is here talking a lot of foolishness about we having solved crime in Trinidad and Tobago, but the American raider, I'm sure they're laughing at us.
Rowley is adamant that Prime Minister Mckmba Bissessar has to come before the nation and explain why this piece of equipment that was hailed as an effective crime-fighting asset is now gone.
Because if we get such great benefit, that 42% of murders have gone down because of the U.S. being here on radar, why are they going? Don't you want to get to zero?
Those were your 7 a.m. news headlines. We'll have another news update at 8 a.m. on the TBC Radio Network.
Welcome back. Well, let's get into the open forum. You know, I would have tried to get some details concerning what's happening in La Ceiba with the gentleman who called yesterday. No word just yet, and there's another issue that I'm hearing about with some sewage that's causing some serious problems in the east, close to the Ruka-Lupino area. I'll get the exact location and I'll share that information, and I'll try to get some footage of that soon. So we're trying our very best and making our calls and trying to bring solutions to some of the issues many of you are going through. So we'll continue to be on it. Let's head to Shogunas. Your live is open forum. Good morning.
Hi, Jason. First of all, I'd like to say congrats to Arsenal yesterday.
Yeah, big win. We move on to the quarters now.
It's a big performance here.
Yes.
Right? And
all the best to you today. Is a big one for you today also with Liverpool. All the best today.
Yeah. And the same breath, I would like to wish Liverpool all the best today. Right? And make no mistake, I'll be watching it.
Of course.
Right?
Me too. Yeah.
Jason, here's what I would like to say, right, concerning all the stuff that's going on with the crime, right? A lot of people in their neighborhoods have a good understanding as to who is committing the crime, who's behind the crime, right? But they do not want to speak out. Now, it's a kind of bittersweet in terms of, you see, they have to consider their own safety also, right? Because a lot of the times, and even I have experienced this, that I would have called in with information to the E99, right? And it got back to them. It got back to them, Jason, that I would have been the person. So I am now in a state of bother as to how exactly that would have gotten back to them. And I just trying to do something positive. If you understand what I'm saying, Jason, I just trying to do something positive. I just trying to crack down on something that is affecting the community or whatever the case is, you know. But I mean, you know, you can't blame people as for what is going on, right? But there are people who need to take responsibility, because I'll tell you this, there are parents who see children bring home a sort of thing. They know the children ain't working no way. Especially the boy children, they ain't working no way, but they see they bring home this and that, and not questioning the accountability as for where these things are concerned. But they want to enjoy it and everything like that. And when they hear police kill the children, now I'm not saying that the police right? Because everything has to be dealt with on its own merit, right? But if it is a police kill a child, right, you want to say that I listen X, Y, Z and this and that and whatever it is. But all the time you're not questioning, right, the resources and all the wealth that they bring in home. And you know for a fact that your son or your daughter ain't working anyway. So I think we need to wake up a little bit and realize as to who we are, right, and what we are about. You take care, Jason.
All the best, Shogunas. Thanks a lot, and all the best to Liverpool today in the Champions League round of 16. Let's start to Faizabad. Faizo, good morning.
Good morning, sir. Good morning, my brother.
Welcome, Faizo. Welcome, welcome.
Brother Jason, I've been looking, you know, with some amazement. Not surprised, though, you know, when I would have listened the statement by Dr. Rowley, his geometry statement. You know, he's consistent. He said it, now he's in Parliament, and now he's saying it out of Parliament. So I'm not, you know, I'm not surprised, but to tell you of the level that he would go as a former statesman, as a former prime minister. And I want you to internalize that as being a former member of the PNM and tell me how you feel about that statement personally. Yeah. The other one is I listened to Camille Robinson-Regis referring to the Prime Minister as a witch. Yes? In a meeting that was poorly attended in one of the base constituencies of the PNM, which is La Horquetta. And it tells me that the PNM is imploding. There will be no more in a little bit from all indications. They are the weakest as it is. And I also listened to Mr. Al-Wari and the list that the U.S. would have provided. You know, he seemed to be a little bit cagey about it. So the PNM is on the edge. We have this Inez Gate thing where the bank is now demanding repayment of some monies owed to them by a Tobagonian businessman. And I suspect a lot of names will be calling in that. So, you know, they are desperate, my brother, and, you know, but we have to blame the destruction of the PNM squarely on the hands of Dr. Rowley. You know, it's hard for them to come back, Jason. It's very, very hard. When you can stoop so low as Camille Robinson-Regis did, and Dr. Rowley, and personalize attacks. It has some jail coming, and I suspect that Mr. Trump, will take some action. You know, we'll see some visa revocation. You know, Jason.
Well, we'll see.
Yeah, you see that pen that this lady talk about that is not so important. Those little things are very important to Mr. Trump. So let me be careful. Take care, my brother.
Olibas Faizo. Dr. Trump, yes, I love it. All right, thanks, Faizo. Let's head to, I believe, is it Grandy? Grandy. Good morning, Grandy.
Yes, a pleasant good morning to you, JW.
Welcome.
Yes, and Trinidad and Tobago. Now, Ms. Robinson-Regis was only reacting to Ms. Prasad Bisesa, saying that the PNM built Balize House on drugs money, right? So how she could say a thing like that and without bringing evidence, right? So it was just a reaction. So, but JW, we had a radar there in Tobago. Now they said that it detected the amount of drugs in Caroni, right? But JW, just last week there, right in Tobago waters, a boat disappeared. I don't know if I was hearing right. I saw it on news. A boat disappeared just before the radar left there. So you're telling me, right in Tobago waters, the radar didn't detect anything like that? That is unbelievable, right?
Yeah.
So, and we are in a SOE, you know, man.
Yeah, we are.
SOE.
We are.
I think I have to go back and really see what a SOE in a country is for. I mean, I know, but what's going on in Trinidad is unbelievable. People are being burned down in a SOE. I saw a video there with Mr. Guerra. It's like the gunmen were actually confident they go and do this thing, and it's like no hurry, you know. Open door and shut again. Chill out a little bit.
How's Grandy reacting? How Grandy reacting to that murder?
Well, that is unbelievable. I knew Mr. Guerra very well because like when I moved up into Form 2, he just came into Form 1, right? So I knew him from a good while.
From school days?
The school days, yes.
Yeah.
Right? Now, I don't know him as any gangster or anything like that, but he's a guy who will stand up for his rights,
Yeah.
Right? He was a guy that was stand up for his rights.
Yeah.
But what I say in JW, we are in a SOE, and these kind of things going on, and not only here.
Yeah.
I heard there was 3 in Mova Lab until around that area there.
And there was a killing in South too with a contractor. Really sad. But Grandy, I want to thank you.
We are SOE.
Yeah.
And gunmen moving up and down this country, normal.
Well, cause for me, concern.
And they praising.
Ooh, I like the Grandy, but like it cut off there. Cause for major concern. Let's start to Tabakit. I believe Tabakit is standing by. Tabakit, morning.
Pleasant morning to you, Mr. Jason Williams.
Morning, Tabakit.
Let me get right into it. The statement which was made by the former Prime Minister, Dr. Keith Christopher Rowley, is rather unfortunate, and I'll tell you why. As a former statesman, and more or less, you're responding to a woman, the Prime Minister, the Honorable Mckmba Bissessar. But I'll say this. The opposition leader, Ms. Penelope Beckles, have a golden opportunity here to distance herself and put a stamp of approval as a leader and somebody with a different styling. This is where Ms. Beckles should take the opportunity to distance herself from such, because you're talking a woman to a woman. Yeah, you're talking that Ms. Prasad Bissessar, the Honorable, is a Prime Minister. It's a woman, and Ms. Beckles is a woman as the opposition leader. Ms. Beckles should take the opportunity here to say, you know what? This kind of styling, this type of politics, this kind of gutter politics, it needs to be condemned. And Mr. Williams, as a good journalist, I think you should make contact with Ms. Beckles, hear what she has to say, whether or not if she will condemn the statement by her former political leader, the former Prime Minister. I think Ms. Beckles got the golden opportunity here to distance herself and say, you know what, this kind of gutter politics, I distance myself from this as the country opposition leader and political leader at the PNM. If she didn't do that, I am saying, well, then the status quo remain this as is. It need to be condemned to the high heaven. Tabakit out and off. Thank you.
Thank you, Tabakit. You know, this morning is a morning where I really wanted to sit down and really listen to the commentary as to some of the utterances and what's happening via the news cycle. And I want to head to Digo Martin. Miss Digo Martin is standing by for her commentary. Digo, I can't wait. Go right ahead.
Yes. Listen, Tabakit, you're trying to cause bacchanal. Were you asking ain't happening at all? So you rock so with that. I want to say UNC have a trend. They always talk corruption, but you know that they can't prove it. As Camille Robinson Reggie said, once you have the evidence, take it to the police. All you're sitting, it is sad to know you know a crime committed. And the police say if you see something, say something. If you know something, say something. And yet, you're only talking since in the days with Basdev Pandey. Jolene John told Basdev Pandey the corruption she saw at the Piaco renovation airport. And he said it's a feeding frenzy. Those were his words. So I don't know what it is. Look, the Prime Minister talked about 3 independent senators wanted favors to vote on the Zozo bill, and you want to call the name. So you have 3 senators there who could sell out this country for a favor, Miss Bissessar. No, man. Do better than that as Prime Minister. You have information, take it to the police. Have a blessed day.
Mr. Martin, let me ask you before you go. You ready? Because Tabakit's suggestion, I think, is one. It's a unique development where you think there is an opportunity for Penelope to distance herself from the commentary of the former, or you think she should just leave it alone based on the accusation that was made, which is a very scathing accusation of drug money being used to build Balizi House. I mean, that in itself.
That drug talk, they need to prove that. But the leader of the opposition, Ms. Beckles, she said from in the beginning, she said her styling is not loud talking and this kind of aggression. So I know Ms. Beckers. I would love to hear her response to the Prime Minister's statement yesterday. Yes, she said she has her own styling. She's not loud. She's not saying she will bring her point across on people finding her, and she too soft, and she's styling. You don't have to shop to the shout and get on aggressive to get your point across. But I will love to hear her response. So if you get the opportunity, JW, see if you could call her. Have a blessed day.
All the best, Ms. Diego Martin. Thanks so much. Let's head back to Shogunas this morning. Good morning.
Open forum?
Yes, welcome. I'm listening.
Yeah, sorry. I just want to say some of your callers have short memories, you know. Who had an MP refer to Rowley and his father as rapists, and that Rowley was the result of a rape? Who did that, a man or a woman? And who supported the person who said that in Parliament? These people, these callers sometimes, they really have short memories.
Yeah, I mean, I could go through the list there. The former was called a Oreo, a rapist.
Exactly, you take it from, I was about to tell you that. Who an Oreo?
The former called the current Prime Minister, well, I don't even want to mention the word, it starts with Z, right? And he had to apologize for that. He was very, very out of place, talking that kind of talk in the Parliament about Ms. Mckmba. So we have seen many parliamentarians drop the ball and the utterances far from complimentary. And as I said this morning, political tegaregs and guzungpeng. Now, guzungpeng is not even a real word, but just the way the word sound and form, it makes you know that what we're talking about is like below the gutter, below the white line with some of the behavior. And we have to call these people caller. We have to call some of these people honorable.
I think one more request.
Yeah.
I wonder if you could get your colleague who does the sport program on Thursday from 7:30, if they invite Keith Lukloy to have a discussion about Trinidad and Tobago football and the coaching program.
Well, Jassy,
very interested.
Jassy had a nice talk with him recently, but I'll talk to Ian and
that's
see if
why. That's why I wanted
to expand on it.
I want that expanded.
Yeah. Okay. Well, all right. I'll tell you.
I agree with Mr. Keith Lukloy 100%. You know.
So you don't feel a local coach?
Nobody in Trinidad right now. Nobody that has the capabilities or the footballing IQ to bring our football forward, to carry our football forward.
So we had to go far in your field?
I agree. Bertel Sinclair was one of the better local coaches, and what happened to him? They don't want progress, you know. They're happy to be where they are.
All right.
Oh, thank you very much, sir.
All the best, Shogunas. Another call from Shogunas. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, welcome. Go right ahead.
Yes, good morning, Jason.
Yes.
No, listening, and I mean, you just brought across the whole issue what I was going to call about with the Prime Minister calling the then Prime Minister different names. And to my surprise, I mean, there was not an issue or there was not no big thing that is happening now about it then. Right? So why it is now, I am trying to understand why it is now that they are going and getting into this big fight over this thing. I think it should be that done with, and people should understand that this is what is happening in the Parliament.
Yeah. I want to thank you, though. Yeah, no problem at all. I mean, listen, I can't support no name calling, whether somebody calling you Jamet, Oreo. I mean, all these are poor utterances, and we expect better from our leaders, or at least those who would have been in a leadership role. But again, it speaks to the adversarial politics of the day. It speaks to the venom. And I know Dr. Rampersad said it might be politics, but I think there's the days of, I mean, they might have a few who would rub a shoulder, knock a glass and stuff, but I believe those who are in the seat right now, on both sides of the divide, they could tell there's some serious venom. Let me tell you something. Don't be surprised to see a day somebody get a jump over a table and let me hold a pause there. Let me not even bring that into the public domain, because we might end up like how you see it in Philippines, and in parts of Africa and India and these places. That's like where they're going. But you know what? Let's hold a pause and we come back and we get into our Tobago Talks segment. On Tobago Talk, we listen. Nkosi Phillips up next.
Cipriani Labour College, get ready for
Two Fat Fellas.
Saturday the 21st and Sunday the 22nd of March.
Cipriani Labour College, 2 nights only.
Two Fat Fellas stars, Cecilia, Penny, Kevon, Zachary, Rachel, and Rhodey.
Tickets available at Dorman Shoe Store, Long Circular Mall, Anthony's Floral, Valpa, Electronics Arima, K-Square Stores, Eastgate Mall, Brentwood Plaza, C3 Center, and the Falls at West Mall. CLR box office opens on the 19th of March. And islandetickets.com. For more info, call 683-4843 or 683-0356.
Two Fat Fellas.
Okay, let me see you, Cherry Hill. Yeah, now take it back. Let me see you rock off, shake off, shake off. Let me see you rock off, rock off. Let me see you kick right. Now step forward, now step back.
Lucozade, bring the energy. Unbeatable taste, new look.
Shake off, let me see you rock off, rock off.
TNT, get ready for Kirk Franklin in concert. Prisoners No More. We meet at the Queen's Park Oval on March 21st for an unforgettable evening of revival and renewal with Kirk Franklin and his full band. Tobago's top gospel artist, Jaron Nurse. Gates Praise, Blessed Messenger, JD and Nisa. St. Anthony's Music Ministry, Daron Sandy, Jediah Joseph, and also featuring Jerome Devines with Kingdom Army. Early bird tickets are sold out. General, Kids, VIP, Group, and Cabana tickets available at XSTix.com. Kirk Franklin is coming to TNT.
Get the story first. Want to know what's happening in news, sports, or crime? Get the CNC3 app. As the story breaks, CNC3 is there giving you the story first on your mobile device. Be connected to the most trusted and reliable news source, CNC3. Access your world with just a tap. The CNC3 app. Download it today.
I'm so dizzy. I think I'm gonna be sick.
Oh. Caleb, are you okay? Oh my God, are you all right?
Cal! I need help! Cal!
Jackson? Hey, what's wrong? It's Caleb. He's like really... Where is he now? It's not far. Come on, I'll show you. Lead the way.
Be sure to catch Sullivan's Crossing, Wednesdays at 8 p.m. only on CNC3.
Calling all filmmakers, producers, content creators, influencers, and recording artists. If you're looking to rent a versatile studio space with green screen, video wall, cyclorama, and more, look no further. GM Labs is here to make your dreams a reality. Located in the heart of Port of Spain on St. Vincent Street, GM Labs is your one-stop shop for all your creative needs with over 2,800 square feet to work with. Take your creative concept to the final product at GM Labs. Give us a call or WhatsApp or message us on our Instagram and Facebook pages at GM Labs TT.
Some of us like to test limits, but there won't always be second chances. Obey the speed limits. Maybe you don't value your life, but others value theirs. A message from the TTPS.
This season, Ask the Doctor is at a new time. It's your weekly prescription for trusted medical advice. In the Doctor's Capsule, Dr. Tilak Singh breaks down big health topics clearly and simply. Get a dose of smiles in the Kiddies Capsule as our youngest experts share health tips with heart. Explore the science behind the headlines in Medical Minds, featuring real doctors, real insight, and your questions matter. Join the open forum live and get answers straight from the source. Ask the Doctor, every Thursday at 8 p.m. only on CNC3.
Listen every Wednesday, Tobago Talks. And when Tobago Talk, we listen. Nkosi Phillips, political leader of the Unity of the People, joining us on the Zoom line to treat with all matters concerning the sweet sister Isle Tobago. Nkosi, good morning to you and welcome.
President, good morning again. Good morning to you. Good morning to the listening public, and thank you very much for having me.
Well, Nkosi, the radar is gone. I would imagine it's a bright day for you on this Wednesday morning.
Well, it's not a bad day for me, you know. What my problem is I have no problems. I'm glad the radar is gone, but when we use the statement in CARICOM and a meeting and in public stating that the radar assisted with 42% of the crime rate and detection, I'm going to now question what will be the detection or the prevention of the crime rate going down to 42% if there will be a 42% decrease. So what is the replacement, or what it will be there now to save the crime rate or to drop the government's crime rate plans? So that's the only problem now I have. I don't have a problem with it going. I'm happy that it's gone. But what will be the replacement, and will they still use that rhetoric that it would have helped them to fight crime or to find drugs and stuff way in the Carolina seas?
So the radar, well, I mean, obviously we'll get to the radar again, but I'm seeing where DCP Suzette Martin would have said here from Port of Spain that the officers, police, are going to ensure the border security remains intact and the crime-fighting operations continue despite the removal of the military asset. And I would imagine her mandate is not only for Trinidad, but I also would imagine it's for Tobago with Officer Eli and others who are on the ground.
That is a pack of BS, because Tobago has no Coast Guard vessels to secure the borders of Tobago presently, and Tobago's water space is totally open for anything to come in. And you could pass a cockroach all the way in the water, so there's no safeguard to say that drugs will be stopping coming to Tobago or shipments will be stopping coming to Tobago. They do not have anything. So that statement is totally inaccurate. And unless I see a Coast Guard ship that they pull out of the pocket and drop it on the water by in the morning or by tonight, I would believe what the DCP says. Tobago has always been open for anything to come in. And even with the U.S. being here, it was still being open because there was no vessel to secure the water space within the Tobago region. So that is a totally unfair and inaccurate statement. I can literally go take a boat and drive all the way around Tobago and show you that there's no Coast Guard vessel manning the Tobago space.
Is there even, as we consider the state of emergency, a police presence on the island? Are you seeing more officers deployed in Scarborough, Crown Point? What's the lived reality in Tobago right now?
It's like a normal police day for us in Tobago. Only we'll see them reacting if something happens. You will see them presently. I'm not going to lie. When they had the first state of emergency under the former administration, we were literally seeing them vociferously in joint patrols. But now it's just like a normal day.
So roadblocks, what's happening? I mean, is there any
Nothing.
Is it that Tobago is calm? Because I know there was a point in time last year, Tobago was a bit hot with crime. Is it that right now the place is calm? So I guess there's no need to really have that kind of...
The place is calm, yes, and I don't want to jinx it, knock on wood. But at the end of the day, when it comes to safety and security, there are certain questions that you have to ask yourself. Because I'm looking in Scarborough especially. You're seeing blocks. And there's a police bus or something parked up right there, but blocks are still happening within the, we can put it this way, drug blocks are still happening in Scarborough. And
in the broad, like in Scarborough, as in the broad, on the Scarborough stretch by the...
Yeah, the broad stretch. And I was in the car yesterday, up to yesterday, and the passenger was saying, well, look what happened right there, they have a police bus right there. Not knowing to me that there's nothing in the police bus. The bus is just there physically to show that you have a bus right there, but nothing happens. Not only there, we were looking at other places as well, where we see most of these groceries, you're having a block right on the corner and things happening there. And you beg to question, what is really the TTPS's role and function in Tobago? Yes, I know that they solve crimes to a certain extent, they capture bandits or whoever it is at a fast pace, but in regards to safety and security, in regards to that level of protection, there is none.
That is.
I'm not going to sit here and tell you, yeah, we're doing good, we have this. What I can finally tell you in the police service is undermined in terms of paperwork. We just had a budget for $70 million for paper and printing paper, but yet there's no printing paper in Tobago police stations. They have no receipts when they go there. They're telling you to go and print out something and bring it back to them. The photocopy machines are working. They need things. And I believe the Tobago Police Service is being treated really unfair in regards to getting things. And I'm wondering, what is these monies taken for out of national security, and Tobago police stations are really diminished.
Thanks for bringing that to our attention. I want to move it now to the political landscape. A statement was made yesterday by the former Prime Minister, born in Tobago, Tobago born and bred, Dr. Keith Rowley. He called the current Prime Minister a jamet. Your reaction to that statement? Because you're also in the politics and you're a political leader, and I know you always call for a different style of politics, but just your reaction to that particular statement?
My reaction was simple. I did not listen to the press conference, but I heard these statements, and that has always been gutter politics between the both parties. And as I said, unity of the people under my leadership were not engaged in such. And let us be fair and not hypocritical. There were times when the opposition, UNC, led by Rampersad, would have called the Prime Minister Oreo and different names and vice versa. That is their way, and that is how they think. What I've been saying for the longest while, it does not augur well for our young people going into youth parliament and using the same rhetorics coming up. So it comes as if we will just be having the same thing happening. But for me, I will not engage in such gutter politics, and I will try my best not to, call out anybody outside of their name. Unless it's called for, but I don't think it was called for, and then I can't be hypocritical because vice versa, it happened on both sides. So I cannot account for the actions of the former Prime Minister, and let the people and the public be the persuading factor towards that. But for me, as a unity of the people, political leader, young person, I condemn such statements on both sides because we're seeing it in the parliament and outside of the parliament.
Lukusi, what's the landscape right now, political-wise, in Tobago? Are you seeing, the administration, all those? I mean, again, it's a clean sweep, so, TPP, definitely, the blue wave is in full effect. Are you seeing the secretaries, folks on the ground? What's the interaction like with those who are more or less in charge of the coffers there in the Tobago House of Assembly?
Well, let me be fair. The place dead. Tourism still on strike up. You ain't seen nothing much. You seen everybody patching the road. According to some person from Trinidad in a video, these people who are hired to patch the road or to pave the road is like if the blue wave on the rough seas shaking, because the whole patch is like a patch here and everywhere. You're not seeing any level of action. You're not seeing no level of production. All I'm seeing is persons flying on trips, coming back, and they're modeling across the road, and they're buying coconut water. Everything is seen is a photo op. You're seeing a big fanfare just to open a toilet, and the toilet blue. So it's like the place is standstill. But then again, as I said, I'm reciprocating. The people voted for that, and I will continue to allow the people to stay silent, because the people in Tobago are still silent, and they are accepting all these things. So at the end of the day, who am I to say yea or nay? All I'm going to tell you over the TV that Tobago is still at a standstill. I'm seeing more business doors closing. I'm not seeing any big hinge in persons coming here, tourism coming here. I can also tell you that Easter is coming. If the Trinidadians do not come to Tobago for Easter, there will be no sale or no expenditure, or there will be no income to Tobago. So nothing is happening. The place is just at a standstill. I'm seeing big trucks happening. I'm seeing a lot of work happening in terms of construction going on, but I don't know if it's the Tobago contractors getting it, but I can tell you the place is still at a standstill. That is a fact, and I'm leaving it right there. Nothing to add, nothing to take away. Anybody come and say anything after that, where we all know they try to make up for lost times and try to make their face look good. But I'm telling you, plain to our manners, the place is still dead.
And of course, as we wrap things up in the couple seconds that remain, what's your next major project?
My next major project, I have to cancel the 2 projects, as I said. I had 147 ambassadors and 2 from foreign ministers supposed to be here in Tobago in May for a conference, but I'm not getting any funding from either the government or the THA, so I'm canceling the meeting with those 147 ambassadors from Tobago and taking it to Trinidad. And then also in July, August, I have 2,748 persons booked so far to come on the island of Tobago, but I'm now going to be moving into Barbados or one of the Caribbean countries because there's no level of funding and no support to my programs. And this was supposed to enhance the tourism trust within Tobago to give the hoteliers, the village guest houses and hotels a little boost. But at the end of the day, I have to reciprocate. If I'm not getting any support, I'm taking the support where in other countries where I'm getting the support.
Well, keep us posted. And as always, thanks for touching base and all the best to you, Nkosi.
Yes, thank you so much, and thank you very much for having me. You have a wonderful morning, and may God continue to bless you.
Yes, you're welcome. You're welcome. That's Nkosi Phillips there from the Unity of the People. Up next, we head across to Point Fortin with borough festivities around the corner. Let's touch base with the mayor and deputy mayor. Point Fortin Borough Day celebrations up next.
Trinidad and Tobago. Anil wrapping roti at lightning fast speed.
Sandra nailing every order in her hardware.
Lisa, who is in sync with style. There is no buffering at her boutique.
And Dr. Alex filling prescriptions with care. They're all part of the 5,000 strong businesses connected and growing with reliable, high-speed service from Amplia.
Now it's your turn.
Because with Amplia,
you're in good company. Amplia Business.
We are your one-stop, most convenient, most helpful, most caring community pharmacy. Our pharmaceutical services include dispensing medicines, repeat dispensing, clinical governance. But we also have a fully stocked convenience store featuring our refreshment aisle, grocery lane, personal care products, toys, pet supplies. We are most conveniently located out of the traffic, just 2 minutes off the highway in Heartland Plaza, Endeavour Chaguanas. Contact us on 220-8705 or 470-5938 and visit us soon.
Kickstart your career in IT with the BSc Information Technology from the University of Bedfordshire, delivered at CTS College. The BSc Information Technology equips students for the latest jobs in the IT field. Benefit from online learning environment, dedicated program manager, WhatsApp groups with students and lecturers, shared drive with lecture notes, recordings, assignments, and more. Tutorial support for assignments. Email CTS College on study@ctscollege.com.
Looking for a smart way to grow your savings? For just a limited time, the Trinidad and Tobago Police Credit Union is offering competitive fixed deposit rates of up to 4%. That's up to 4% guaranteed. When you invest with PCU Fixed Deposit, visit any of our locations in Barataria, Arima, San Fernando, or Tobago to get started today. For more details, visit policecreditunion.com or call us at 6124-PCU. PCU. Your future is safe with us.
Volleyball filmmakers, producers, content creators, influencers, and recording artists. If you're looking to rent a versatile studio space with green screen, video wall, cyclorama, and more, look no further. GM Labs is here to make your dreams a reality. Located in the heart of Port of Spain on St. Vincent Street, GM Labs is your one-stop shop for all your creative needs with over 2,800 square feet to work with. Take your creative concept to the final product at GM Labs. Give us a call or WhatsApp or message us on our Instagram and Facebook pages at GM Labs TT.
Well, when we we consider Borough Day celebrations, Point Fortin always goes to me, the head of the class. People fly in from overseas for this celebration, such the appeal, such the majesty of Point Fortin Borough celebrations. And it's more than just the Juve and the pan and the revelry on the road. It's a coming together of so much and the very best that Point Fortin and environs got to offer. We welcome this morning the mayor, deputy mayor, and I'm seeing also alderman. So let me do my intros. In the middle there, we have His Worship Clyde James, mayor of the Point Fortin Borough Corporation. To the mayor's left, I believe, if you're looking at the screen, that's Kwesi Thomas, deputy mayor, and the lady in the mix with the gentleman, that's Alderman Brianna Fortune John. Good morning to this tremendous team. Thank you so much for being part of the show this morning. Welcome.
Good morning and welcome to Trinidad and Tobago, and welcome to CNC3 to Point Fortin.
Definitely, definitely. Let me tell you, when we consider the borough, as I mentioned, it's more than just the, I mean, of course, the pan and the festivities, that makes up a major part of it. But where does it officially start? What's the official starting point of borough celebrations, Mayor?
Borough Day celebration this year will begin on April the 11th, where we do our launch, and we'll put a calendar of events which will commemorate on the 2nd of May 2026. It will run for approximately 3 weeks, which will celebrate all diversities of the borough of Point Fortin with different aspects of both culture, sporting, educational, youth activities, and cultural and religious function. This is to celebrate our 46th anniversary of becoming a borough. And as you know, it's now deemed a festival in Trinidad. So we look forward to the whole of Trinidad and Tobago and the wider community of the world to come and join and celebrate with us.
Let me ask you, Deputy Mayor, where others would have started off, and we just, and I wouldn't call no particular area, but there are other parts of the country where they would have had grand celebrations, then it dwindled, then they tried to revamp it, and it's never really been the same. What do you think is the staying power of Point Fortin Borough Day? Because since I could remember myself as a little boy, by going my Uncle Carrie, now deceased, one of a close family friend. Borough was big since in the 90s, coming right up the road, you know.
So, JW, morning to Trinidad and Tobago. Point Fortin is known for sports and culture. So that's where we start our thing. And our motto is Point Fortin, the preferred place to live, work, invest, and recreate. So we take our sport and our culture very seriously. Borough Day was started right now is the second largest national festival in Trinidad and Tobago. As the mayor said, it is now deemed a national festival from April 25th last year. And we take our sporting icons and our cultural icons very seriously. You know, Point Fortin, I think, has the most sportsmen in Trinidad and the most cultural icons.
Yes, that's right. I want to bring Alderman Fortune John into the discussion. Some of these icons just mentioned by the Deputy Mayor, will they appear? Are we having performances or at least any kind of meet and greet with some of the Point Fortin stalwarts, past and present?
So, as Mayor would have indicated, good morning to you and good morning to Trinidad and Tobago. We will launch our festivities on the 11th. And at that festivities, we will be inviting all who we consider or deem to be our icons to come and be a part of this celebration. So, yes, we will have persons there, not just on the launch, but if you will allow me to just probably go through just a few of the other things that we have listed. We have, as the Deputy Mayor said, Week of Sports, where we will also probably have some of our talent, our local talent. As you know, during Richard, at some point, Fortin, we may not be able to confirm everything right now, but we'll try to have as much as our icons a part of the celebration, because it's really to showcase what we have in Point Fortin to offer Trinidad and Tobago and also the world. Icons in the Sun, where we bring some of our local talents, and also we extend it to persons from from within Trinidad and Tobago also. And people look forward to coming and being a part of all those festivities. So, Jason, we just want persons to know that Point Fortin Borough celebrations is on, and we welcome all to come and be a part of our festivities.
Thank you so much, Ms. Fortune John. Mayor, let me ask you, what's the conversation like now with the security apparatus to ensure that peace of mind for patrons far and wide coming to Point Fortin for the Borough Day celebrations?
But we like to assure the community and the world that Point Fortin is safe. We have been having conversation with the respective personnel, and they assured us that they are going to have all systems in place to make sure that we have a very safe and eventful-free festival this year.
That's right. What about for those looking to ply their trade? We're talking here vendors. What's the discussion like? I know obviously permissions must be granted. People must have that conversation prior. What's the timeline? How does that process take shape?
It's ongoing presently. We had a meeting with the Burgesses, not the Burgesses, the business community of Point Fortin just 2 weeks ago. And we assured them that everything is in place for them to ply their trade. We are having a few events that will, each and every one of them will be able to participate. But nevertheless, all systems are go. We have all the infrastructure in place to make sure that the business community can be part of this exercise. And by the same time, participate and partner with us to make sure that this is a wonderful and successful celebration this year.
So the Juve remains the Saturday morning. Just give me the grand climax, that final weekend.
Everything will conclude on Saturday, the 2nd of May, with the Panade Move and the Juve.
Fantastic, fantastic.
And traditional, and also we have between the Juve and the Panade Move, we have the traditional mass.
Where can we go to get the itinerary, the calendar of events?
Well, the calendar events will come out by tomorrow. We will be able to have the calendar events out for each and every one to see. And we'll have it on all our Facebook page and all the necessary platforms that will be there for people to know exactly what is happening.
Well, I want to thank the amazing team. You know, it's very unique. I'm talking to 3 people this morning. This is, I think, the first time since I'm doing the show. I've had 3 guests. Really enjoy it. See you all for Borough Day. I'll be there for sure. And I look forward to...
Before we go, JW, before we go, I want to take this opportunity to ask Trinidad and Tobago to come and partner with us. Come and partner, ply your trade, advertise your different products and activities that you have. Come to Point Fortin. And we know that Point Fortin is the preferred place to live, rest, recreate, and invest. Thank you very much.
For sure. Your Worship, good morning to you, of course, the Deputy Mayor and Alderman Fortune John. See you all soon for Borough Day Celebrations 2026. Point, it's going to be a movie. Let's take the pause and we come back. We're going to bring our artists into the fold. That's right. The topic, 1 billion strokes. And it's happening at the Horizons Art Gallery next Tuesday 24th. Full details after the break.
Magical Expressions Limited is the largest local importer and distributor of fresh cut stems, offering the widest range of beautiful flowers at the most affordable prices. Call us today at 701-6488 or visit our website to order.
TNT, get ready for Kirk Franklin in concert. Prisoners No More. We meet at the Queen's Park Oval on March 21st for an unforgettable evening of revival and renewal with Kirk Franklin and his full band. Tobago's top gospel artist, Jaron Nurse. Gates Praise, Blessed Messenger, JD and Nisa. St. Anthony's Music Ministry, Daron Sandy, Jediah Joseph, and also featuring Jerome Devines with Kingdom Army. Early bird tickets are sold out. General, Kids, VIP, Group, and Cabana tickets available at excesstix.com. Kirk Franklin is coming to TNT.
Period nights don't have to look like this. Move less, wake up to change. So change for a real night's sleep with Always Overnight. Its 3 times protection system absorbs, locks the fluid, and keeps it away from your skin. For protected nights without leaks. Always.
Step into ABC Doors and Windows, where quality meets variety. Discover premium wooden, steel panel, fiberglass, and steel security doors alongside aluminum, UPVC, and steel windows designed for strength and durability. At ABC, we're always a better choice, delivering products built to last and service you can rely on. Visit our showroom at 1 Chanka Trace, El Socorro South, or call 638-7184 to make your dream home a reality.
Mckmba is here with me to treat with a fantastic showcase that's happening next Tuesday. It's entitled A Billion Strokes. And out of his studio there in Barataria, you continue to inspire. I want to say thanks for being here. I was trying to figure out when last we touched base, but we now established it would have been a little while ago.
That's right.
But I mean, clearly from then to now, you always keep on working. And firstly, let me just say welcome. Glad to have you in studio.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
What's in life really of an artist, you know, because I guess every day, I would imagine, you know, you're being inspired, you know, we're living, you're seeing things, the frequencies around. What inspires you work and how often? Are you at it every single day?
I'm at it every day.
Every day,
every single day. Yeah, that is my work. Whether inspired or not, that is my work. And I don't have to seek inspiration anywhere. I follow the news. So there's a lot to comment about. I experience the joy of living in Trinidad. There's a lot to talk about in my work. So there's no end of topics or things for me to do.
Yeah, never dull moment in this Twin Island state, Trinidad and Tobago. Walk me through what the experience will be for those in attendance next Tuesday at the Horizons Art Gallery for A Billion Strokes. What a nice name.
Yes, A Billion Strokes. It wasn't my idea, the theme for the exhibition. After completing this amount of work and trying to see what it is that brings it together, a friend and colleague of mine called Rafiki Morris, he had written an essay on my work, and he called it A Billion Strokes. So I thought I would use that. As you can see, it's amazing, if not madness, the amount of strokes that I put into the work, and that is what he was talking about.
How long does it take for a piece? Because I would imagine it's really based on size too. And is it canvas you're doing it on?
Yes, canvas and paper, board, anything. The problem that we have here in Trinidad, although we try, although the artist is the one who is the creative one and who teaches us how to be independent and resourceful, almost everything that we use to make our art is imported.
Serious?
Yes, the paints, the canvases, the paper, everything is imported. So I try to use anything that I get my hand on rather than have to use foreign material for us to be creative.
Indeed. So for those in attendance, walk me through, is it, you know, because you would have given us the story behind the A Billion Strokes, and for those who are interested, you have piqued their interest, and especially the art lovers. Walk me through coming, is it that you're coming to view, one could purchase, one could book something?
Yes.
What's the deal next Tuesday?
Yes, you can come to view and purchase. That's next Tuesday will be the opening of the exhibition. And that will just last a couple hours. Okay. But the exhibition would last for 2 weeks beyond that. So schools and so on can come and view and so on. And what is there to view? Meditations of the artist. It's not an exhibition that one can just run through, like if you're on a parity. One has to stop and look at the paintings, and only those who will find that time I expect would really enjoy it, to stop and look and to see what it is, what of themselves they can see in the painting.
And you'll be there for the days to engage with all those who come to check out?
Yes, I'll be there many of the days.
Fantastic.
Yes.
Fantastic. Let's enjoy some of the work. We're going to put some on screen. There was a particular piece where I saw a face, I kind of literally was able to make out a face. You see this here? That's a face I'm making out, right?
Yes, that's a painting called "Give Me the Ball." There's a player on the West Indies team called Deandra Dutton, and once we were playing in New Zealand, I think it was World Cup, and New Zealand was getting the better of us on the wicket, and Deandra went to the captain and she said, "Give me the ball." The captain said, I think it was Stephanie Taylor, I remember. She said, "No, you haven't been using the ball." She said, "Give me the ball." And she took the ball and she won the match for the West Indies.
And that's art, right?
And so I comment on that.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a tribute to her.
Fantastic piece. And I mean, it's amazing. I said you literally every day you're at it.
Yes.
You're at it. And I would imagine that kind of abstract style, that's your style?
Yes, that is my style.
Signature style.
That's my signature style. I can't get away from it. So it probably might have a billion strokes in truth. Yes.
So true, so true. What's the biggest piece you've worked on or willing to work on? If somebody wants a really big mural, you could treat with that?
Yes, I've done murals, and some of my paintings are so big they can be considered murals. I've 10 foot by 4 foot and so on, 8 foot pieces. I've done quite a few big pieces. And artists are really prepared to do much more murals. We don't see many murals in the country, but they have to be commissioned, and people are not commissioning murals as much. The most you might see on the walls would be graffiti or children playing on the walls.
I wish we were able to do what they've done. There's a particular part of Kingston, well, close to waterfront, Old Kingston. A lot of murals. They've commissioned the artists there to treat with the murals on the walls. And we have seen in my travels, I've seen in Washington, D.C., so many places where murals.
Yes, Washington has
it has enhanced the whole place.
Yes, Curacao, Cuba, Puerto Rico, yes.
Yeah. I really hope we could come to that place soon. But let me again congratulate you in advance for this billion strokes. Let's put the information up. Time, 5 p.m. It's going to run for 2 weeks at the Horizons Art Gallery.
Horizons Art Gallery.
That's on Mckmba Road.
On Mckmba Road.
Yes, I know it well. And to my art, you know, trust me, I've matured and I've come into a place where I really appreciate art and the artists.
Good. So therefore, you should start your collection.
I will come. I'll be there.
All right.
Yes, definitely. Mckmba, where can we find you online if people want to find your work?
386-4224. And there are other things online that they will find me.
Fantastic. Well, with that being said, we're going to wrap things up on this Wednesday morning. A Billion Strokes Art, Horizons Art Gallery next Tuesday. Be there. Godspeed, I'm back for more tomorrow. Thanks so much for tuning in and for being a part of it right here on the Morning Brew.